I don't know where to start, guys. I had the weirdest day yesterday. It's just so strange. I guess I'll just start with the timing of it all. I told you guys from the beginning this has been a very spiritual adventure. Especially at the beginning. There was just a lot of uncanny things that happened, really, that just, it felt like miracles. Felt like miracles in a lot of ways. Well, another one happened yesterday. My last video I uploaded, hopefully I uploaded it, I spoke about the dream in which my brother, I basically rejected him in a way. I basically told him, stop trying to fool me that you're really alive. I was trying to talk to my mind. Basically, I dreamed about him again, if you hadn't seen the video, as I always do, but this time, instead of being happy or surprised or trying to hold on to him in my dream or thinking he was alive, the last time basically I said, dude, you're not alive, stop coming into my dreams, it's like you're ruining my life, basically. I can't seem to move on. And he walked away, and it was the most depressing dream I've ever had, probably. Guys, one day later, one day after, and I felt after that there was some kind of closure to the whole nightmare, that in a way, like, my subconscious was telling myself to move forward in a way. After all, it's been 4 summers and 3 winters, and the winters are really hard. I didn't really feel like going into another winter unprepared, in the sense that I could wind up broke and freezing cold with no weed. It happened a couple of times last winter where I couldn't make it. But anyways, it still is great. Look, I'm not complaining. I would go back into it. I really didn't have any big worries. I was just wondering if it was ever going to end. Anyways, what happened yesterday, this is so weird, guys. Just like one day after I upload that video, or 2 days. After 3.5 years, 4 years. So weird. Just like it's like the timing is. I actually thought someone was watching my videos and following me, but no. Basically, yesterday my friend shows up. I'm going out to return some cans to buy a coffee. I'm happy, and I'm not as happy now, I'll be honest. He shows up in my apartment, and he's got an envelope full of cash for me. And he just hands it over to me, and he goes, here, that's for you. And I immediately say, I don't want it. It's my mother. I don't want her having control of me. I don't need the money. I'm happy. I'm going step by step. He tells me it's not from my mother. I don't believe him. Who else is going to give me that kind of money? It was more money than, well, that's when I realized it was more money than my mother usually gives me. I know my mother usually gives me a few $100. And this felt like more than a few. So I didn't count it, but he told me it wasn't from my mother, and he didn't want to tell me who it was. He said it was from someone who knows my situation and wants to help. But I said, I'm fine, I don't really need any help. Well, what it came out to is it was an ex-client, it was an old client of mine who knows the way I used to live and knows how much money I had made them in the past in their businesses. I'd helped them build more than one business in the past. So when they heard from my friend that I was eating at shelters and collecting aluminum cans and bottles for the past few years, they it was a double-edged sword, and that's what it was. They decided that they would use me. They wanted me, actually. I think that's how it came up. They wanted to contact me to get me to work for them. And my buddy said, I'm not interested. He's out of it. He's retired. He's off the grid doing his own thing. But they didn't want to hear of it, right? This is, I suppose, money and narcissism combined. I mean, not that this client is narcissistic. I really like them, but they manipulated me basically by sending an envelope of money, which once I felt it in my hand, I'm not gonna want to give it away, even if I didn't need it and didn't want it. And it worked. So I took the money, and then I found out that the client was actually waiting outside. So these guys were sent, my friends were sent to butter me up, and then drag me outside and hit me with a proposal. Anyways, I obviously accepted. I know them long enough and they know my situation, so it's not like I have to pretend. So I have some money for the winter. I'll be okay again. Like, I wasn't worried anyways, but now I kind of broke my no contact with my friends and with some people from the past. And I'm not that comfortable with it because I have borderline. I feel this anxiety now, like this really uncomfortable feeling that I did not want to ever have again. I was happy with no relationships, no responsibilities, no guilt. But, I suppose we're only here once, so. So, anyways, that's really the news that happened, but there's more to it now that you guys are with me, and it's only 5 minutes. Oh, just to let you know, guys, I wanted to throw up yesterday all day long. I couldn't eat. The money and the new responsibility, even if I could have said no, they still would have given me the money. And, for them, you know how it is when you're making money. Well, I don't know. I was like that too when I was making. Maybe that's why they paid me back, because when I was making money, I was doing things for people and giving away money. I was also very, very. I always tried to help people. I'm not really. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is this: that I feel like miserable again. Yesterday, today I'm a little bit better because my boundaries are back up. But yesterday I felt my boundaries had been broken against my will. My friend showed up here. He knew that I didn't want to speak to anyone. He knew I didn't want to get back into work. But he made a decision that money I would have liked. When he saw it and when he heard, I guess he says, well, I'm going to push him. So it made me realize that people with money can really control other people. I mean, I was thinking about the Epstein case, how the girls come and they show up. He abuses them, but then he throws them some money, and they feel good until the money's out. And that's how my mother used to do it too. I'd be like, she'd destroy me, she'd sabotage me, and she'd see I was miserable, and she'd write me a check for $500 or $1,000, knowing that initial reaction, that buzz, especially back then because I was into drugs and parties and women, I was like, oh, now I can have some fun. But so I'm just putting it in savings, and I'm gonna still do my. Oh, so I was depressed yesterday because I was mourning the loss of my life, doing cans, recycling, and living by myself, independent. But I said, you know what? I'm more mature than that now. I've come a long way. I can maintain this life. I don't have to spend all my money and then go back to cans in desperation. I put it in savings. I allocate maybe $100 a month out of the money, so I'm okay for until next summer. That 100 is extra over everything I have. So I'm not really just going to stop working for 2 months like I used to do. Or a month or whatever the money's going to last me. I didn't even count it all, but maybe, I don't know how much it is. It's not that much, but I mean, the funny thing, I was looking and I was saying, okay, it's under 1,000, probably over 500. It's probably, it looks like, I don't know. Whatever it is, I was laughing at how much money it seemed that it actually made me nauseous. The whole day I was like, I don't know how to deal with it. Where should I keep it? Should I hide it? Should I put it in the bank? I've never had that much money. Do I even want it? Should I give it back? I was thinking how I used to make more than that every week. Every goddamn Thursday I get a check for $1,000 in certain jobs. Gone. Guys, I met a guy who's working, a younger guy. He's partying, and I told him what I'm doing, and I told him how much money I'm making, and he's like, he goes, dude, I spent $50 by 10 a.m. He's like, I can never live what you're doing. And I'm like, dude, I know. I used to spend $50 by 10 a.m. too. I go, I can't believe the way I'm living here on literally, I don't know, $20 a day. There's more to it. I'll leave it to next video.